This book, I'm not sure it was needed.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a book review on A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is my first ever fantasy read and the first I've ever read by this author. I can honestly say I was not disappointed. I ended up enjoying these way more than I thought I would. You know, a friend had told me to read it last summer maybe because I forgot my book and he lent me his and I couldn't get past page 9. It just started off way too slow and I'm like, what is going on? Then my grandma read it and she had the whole series, so I was like, okay, I don't have to pay for the series, I'll just give it a go. So I picked it up and read it and I was pleasantly surprised. So obviously it does start out slow. I gave the first book a 5 out of 5. I was at a loss for words upon finishing it. And I'm glad I decided to start it. Like I said, at first I was hesitant, but it definitely lived up to the hype that was online over Book Talk. All of it, it lived up to the hype. It was so hard for me to put this down because I just wanted to keep reading. I needed to know what happened. Especially when I reached halfway point of the story, I was like, just zooming through it. I read the rest of it all in one sitting. And I just loved the way the story was told and all the things that they had to overcome and just what ended up happening. Then I was brought to the second book, A Court of Mist and Fury. So good. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 as well. I loved seeing Feyre and Rhysand's relationship change. And I just felt so many emotions because in the first book, you're not understanding where he's coming from. And in this book, you understand Rhysand more as a person. And it just caused me to feel so many emotions. And at the end, with all the twists and turns, I didn't expect it. I did not expect what was happening. I love this one more than the first one, truly. I also have vivid dreams, and the way this story is told, I started having dreams as if I was Feyre. Like, it was honestly quite amazing. It was insane. I seriously loved these so much. I forgot to mention for the second book, it had parts which I love to see what authors do with them, and I ended up loving it. Like, it was kind of like different sections led to different things, but along the same storyline. Like, the story didn't change and, like, point of views didn't change, which I loved. So the third book, A Court of Wings and Ruin, I also gave a 5 out of 5, which also had parts. So did the other two. Actually, I don't think the fourth did, but the fifth did for sure. But they blend together so well. So much happened. I felt genuine terror and worry at some parts. Of course, it turned out fine and how I hoped, but I actually almost cried at some parts during this book because it was like, I really hope everything's going to turn out okay in the way I want. Like, I had no idea what was going to happen, but obviously they turned out how I wanted, and that's all I could ask. Now, this fourth book, A Court of Frost and Starlight, obviously the smallest one, so fast to get through. I would say total I read all 5 of these books over 18 days, maybe less, but no more than 18 days.
This book, I'm not sure it was needed.
It was kind of like cementing from, you know, Feyre, Rhysand, and Tamlin and all of them to go into Nesta and Cassian. So that's kind of what I took this book as, is kind of a bridge, because this one was really interesting because it goes between different points of views. So it goes from Morgan's point of view, Cassian's, Asriel's, Rhysand's, and Feyre's. So you get everyone's point of view and kind of get to gauge where they're feeling and where they are at, which was really nice to experience. But I did give this one a 4 out of 5. Someone said to me that it's like a Christmas special, and I definitely agree with that. I would say nothing serious happened in this book, that it was just kind of like easy to coast through, a nice read in between everything that was going on. I think this could have been an ending book for the series, but it was also a nice bridge in between because it also left room for more, but didn't leave any leftover questions. And I feel like the reason it could have just ended is because it kind of just let them all on a journey to healing. But also what I didn't realize before starting the 5th book was that it was kind of letting you know that Nesta was kind of going away from the group and not really wanting to be a part of it. And then you see her go on that journey to kind of heal and bring it all together. But the rest of them are healing from the things that happened in the 3 other previous books. So that brings us to the 5th and final book of the series, A Court of Silver Flames. Gigantic. And like I said, this one pretty much focuses on Nesta and Cassian, but it didn't have it wasn't chapters based on points of views, but it went from telling you how Nesta was feeling and thinking, then how Cassian was feeling and thinking, like things they weren't saying, and what they were trying to achieve throughout. I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 because I did enjoy the first 3 way more. I do like Nesta, so it was a great read. Had me waiting and a lot of questions about Cassian and Nessa answered, and it had a wonderful ending. Like, I remember reading it, and one of my coworkers, I was like, hey, are they... She's like, I can't tell you. But a lot of my questions were answered in this, and I read it a lot faster than I thought I would. And I've always liked Nesta's character, but also there are things that I don't agree with her, and things I do see myself in, but also with Farah too, because I know I've heard that people relate more with Nesta, and I think I relate with both of them equally with way different things. But overall, this series was fantastic, and I give it a 5 out of 5. Do recommend to read the whole series. Next series for her that I am reading is Throne of Glass. I did get that in. I cannot wait to read that. As always, if there's anything you want me to read or anything you want me to review, please let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching.